Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is, again, I'm trying to get more into what you guys are asking me about. And this is a question that I've been asked several times now. And so I figured let me get to it. I guess to me it's weird that it's even a question. Hold on. It's weird that it's even a question, but let's talk about it. So the question is two questions we're going to answer. One was, do vatos that are, and well, they asked Southern Raza that are 50 or over, are they required to perform in there? Okay, that was one of them. And then another question was, are the Christians expected to get off as well? So we're going to get to those two questions. Now, first of all, I want to remind people, let's talk about California. Everybody knows our correctional system is very political. And it's like that for a reason. We've talked about it. You know, somebody the other day said, and I answered them in the comments, because when I talked about how in the joint you couldn't play, the raza from Southern California couldn't play sports with the blacks and, you know, buy dope off them and this and that, right? And somebody said, well, then obviously it's racial because you could play with the whites, right? But you couldn't play with the blacks. Yeah, but they also couldn't play with the northerners, raza, Mexicans from Northern California. So explain the racism in that one. I'll wait. It's not based on race. It's based on factions and what's best for factions. You got to understand, you have to be able to have a secure environment in order to make money. Money is king, not only in this world out here, but in that world in there. Now, getting back to what I was going to say, everybody knows that California's Department of Corrections is very politicized. It's very strict. But here's the thing. When you come to California and you are not from California, you are not a target. Like, I know, like, for California dudes go to other states and they become a target. If not by the convicts, it's by the cops. Because a lot of cops say they don't want people from California going into their prison system and bringing their way of thinking and their way of doing time, because it's so different, so foreign, and potentially violent. Also very lucrative, because, you know, we're taught to find that free staff or that CO or that counselor that's willing to do a little something for a little something, right? Next thing you know, you got a whole different states prison fucking turned out. And anyways, but over here in California, the main thing, doesn't matter where you're from, it's that you carry yourself like a man. You come and it's your decision. Who do you want to run with? And when you pick who you're running with, you're gonna run with them, period. Like I said, I've done time with I remember a couple dudes from New Mexico. I know for a fact one dude from Arizona. I remember a vato from New York. And they all chose to run with the Southern Raza, right? And they were all fine. One of them, unfortunately, committed suicide in Pelican Bay behind the family visits. But that was a decision of his own, you know. Everybody else, they did their time, you know. I remember a couple of them even doing Harley, and you're going to when the time comes. But anyways, I wanted to make that clear for people. In California, there is no, at least for the Raza and the whites, and I believe the others as well, there is no. You're not going to be punking your Sally and raping them and all that. That doesn't happen. So I always trip out when people bring that stuff up when they find out a person's been in prison in California. Oh man, that don't fly out here. It's completely frowned upon, and not only that, you're not going to be allowed to pray on your own in that way. Now, are bottles that are 50 and over expected to participate? Absolutely. I told you before that prison isn't a place you're going to go to find sympathy and find somebody to feel sorry for you, people to have empathy for you. If you're that age and you're sticking your nose in other people's business, then you haven't learned a fucking lesson yet. If you know how to do time, man, your number's not going to get called. You're gonna just be expected to participate in riots. But if you're using dope, if you're gambling, if you're sticking your nose in people's business, if you're politicking, then absolutely, you're in the mix. You're putting yourself in precarious situations, and things are going to happen in those situations. I remember being in the hole in Tehachapi, and there was a vato. He was my age, right? I couldn't stand him, Holmes. Anyways, what he came to the oil for to me was chicken shit, and he carried himself in the oil like if he had really done something, and he didn't. He fired on somebody that was in handcuffs. That was a bad look to me. But anyways, after the rutina, I don't remember what the conversation was because, like I said, I didn't like the dude, but he happened to be in earshot of me, and somebody said something to him, and he said, "Man, homie, I already done mines." And I believe he was probably about 24 years old, right? And I remember when he said that, I looked at him, and my Sally, who I mentioned before, he's one of the original founding members of Las Flores, which is also known as El Monte Flores. He was right there. He was 51 years old, I believe, right? And this vato used to do the whole rutina and then go in the corner and do another one by himself. He was a Vietnam vet, right? It's well-established history inside the walls as well as outside. And so when this cat said, "Man, I already done mines," my Sally looked, it was like the cartoon, like you could hear his head go, whoosh. And he looked at that cat and he goes, "Hey, I'm 51 years old and I'm not done doing mines. How'd you do yours already? Like, how'd you get it done so soon?" Like there's a set amount of shit, right? And then once you get there, like, okay, but so there's that. If your age doesn't matter, it's how you carry yourself. If you're an older cat and you go out to yard every day, you do your workout, you play sports, whatever, and you're not getting involved in no shit, and you ain't using no dope, then I mean you're not on nobody's radar. Hey, that's the homie, I saw the homie right there. He's feeding, man. That's gonna be the extent of the conversation about you. But once you start dabbling in the bullshit, people will be like, "Hey, is Vato gonna pay? Or who the fuck is this?" You know what I mean? Like, but when it comes to riot time, absolutely. Even if you're just an older dude and you're when it's wartime, you got to get your money. Everybody's expected to perform. Now, Christians, are they expected to participate? I'm going to tell you, in the riot in 2000 in Pelican Bay, word went out. The day of the riot, everybody on the yard was told. And leading up to it, I had a friend of mine. Let me just say this. I had a friend of mine. He was born and raised in Chiques. He wasn't a gangbanger. Those of you in Chiques know the case. He got busted for killing a dude from the east side of Santa Barbara. He didn't do it. He wound up getting exonerated and released. But he was a Christian. And leading up to a riot, when you have something like that, you're going to, hey, where you vatos gonna hit? Which ones you gonna hit? And there's discussion. Okay, well, we plan on doing this and that. And him being from the area, he was asking me questions, and he was like, "Look, man, they already said that everybody, if you're raza, you have to fucking get off. And he goes, I walk with the Lord, but I know you guys are outnumbered on this side of the yard. And I feel like if I just use my hands and one of you guys gets hurt, that's on me. I told him, you don't got to use a knife, homeboy. You're walking with the Lord. You have to do the devil's work. When they tell us it's time to go, you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to, make peace with that later, but don't pick up a knife. You know what I'm saying? That's not who you are. You never know what you become once you start doing shit like that. And he was like, all right, cool. And the day of the riot, those Christians that weren't aware were made aware that morning. Hey, it's going down. Follow the homies. Everybody has to participate. And so when it went down, the homie from Oxnard, from Chiques, he performed. Unfortunately, there was one Christian dude that did not perform. And he was dealt with. Once everybody went back to the oil, those of you that were there at the time know. And once everybody got in the ad seg, every time they released yard, it was a bloodbath. House cleaning. Because all the politicking that led to that stupid ass riot that should have never happened. And then those that, the one Christian dude that didn't participate. And there was also a Southern raza that didn't participate. Big ass dude. He climbed under a table. After homies were like, hey, Holmes, is he shot or something? Like, what's wrong with that guy? Nah, he was big for nothing. Too big to be trying to hide. Can't do that on a prison yard. But yes, it's also a thing, man, where it's kind of like it's up to who's there and what the numbers are looking like. If the raza from Southern California is outnumbered bad, they're still going to get off. But if there's a handful of Christians that raza, they're going to tell me, you got to jump in, eh? Because the raza from Southern California, even if a Vatos Christian, they're still going to look out for you. They're still going to make sure that nobody's trying to punk you. They're still going to make sure nobody's trying to play you foul, shit like that. So that's what comes with the house, comes with the territory. You know what I mean? But there's the answers to those two questions. When you are inside of those walls, when it's time to go, you go. Like I said in a story a few days ago, if it's a bad call, the leadership will pay the price. But everybody's expected to roll. How do you sit back and a vato that you break bread with is over there in a fucking knife fight with CO shooting at him? How are you going to just sit there and watch? It doesn't pan out for you in the end if you do. So anyways, that's my video for the day. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Again, I put it on the back end. Was cracking. New video. If you liked it, give me a like. Share it with somebody else you think would enjoy it. Also, do me a favor. Check your notifications. If you got the notification for this one, check your notifications. Make sure they're on all and not personalized. And in closing, subscribe to Food and Fallons. We will be doing new stuff soon. All right, everybody, take care. Be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. I'm out.